So Alex Becker is a man of extremes. When he broke up with his ex-girlfriend, he sold every single one of his possessions and moved into an empty house. Alex Becker's now sold his business for $100 million and has decided to become the love child of Andrew Huberman and John Wick. Not only is he throwing down 60 different supplements from his kitchen at 3 a.m. in the morning and taking 22 self-defense classes a week, but Alex Becker has hit us with a radical change to his crypto playbook. And in fact, he's unveiled his new plan to get even wealthier using blockchain and NFTs in 2023. And as your trusty Becker obsessed YouTube channel, I felt compelled to bring you the update. So give this video a like for me, put on your Tonka Ali hat, and let's jump in. Okay, so let's start with a quick recap of Becker's life update. He's currently in the process of selling his ad tracking software company, Hyros, for approximately $140 million. I mean, nothing but a congratulations here. That's a really awesome accomplishment. But as we briefly highlighted already, this massive influx of cash has had a big effect on his lifestyle and his goals. Firstly, his motivation seems to be at all-time highs. Not only is he waking up at 3:30 a.m. to start working on his new business, which we'll talk about in a minute, but he's decided to take one of every single type of self-defense class that ever existed, from jiu-jitsu classes to gun classes to even knife fighting. Just in case he ever has to fight to death to protect his $140 million, he will be able to. And lastly, he's become full biohacker. From red light therapy to hyperbaric oxygen chambers, cold showers, and even very large supplement stacks that Becker now plans to live to 200 years old on. Fantastic, so that's us done poking our noses around Alex Becker's personal life. Let's get into what we're actually here for. I mean, it's cool that Alex Becker's now sitting at 9 figures, but what about us? What is our 1000x playbook? How do we get there? After all, this blockchain and AI revolution that we're currently in is supposed to be providing us life-changing opportunities and life-changing wealth. Well, let's start with Becker's new biggest insight. Becker recently retweeted this tweet from NFT God. 99% of people in Web3 gamble, 1% build. What are you building today? And there's this simple image that goes with it, insinuating that building something will give you wealth over time in Web3, while gambling in altcoins is inconsistent and really just comes down to luck. And in Becker's recent YouTube video, the first he's put out for a while, he really doubled down on this stance. He says there's two ways to get rich in this revolution. One is investing in 20x, 50x, 100x altcoin, and this will allow you to turn 20k into million. But secondly, and more powerfully, he says that you can actually build real companies and Web3 infrastructure that provides value. And this is how you make hundreds of millions or billions. So let's break these down. Let's talk about the building one first and then the investing one second. Building. So I agree. Building is an incredible thing to do. You're creating value for the world and you will see value coming back, and everything is under your own control because you are in charge of learning new skills and putting those skills into action and actually building resources for other people to use. But that said, I don't think that you'd see Alex Becker talking about how valuable it is to go out and build if we were in the middle of a bull market. In fact, he acknowledges this himself. He said,
as we're going into a bear market and nothing's really going on, it's been the same exact range for like a year now, I don't really want to sit around and talk about that.
But as we've discussed, on top of the market sentiment, there's also another big change in Alex's life: his financial situation and therefore his new financial goals. He says,
how am I going to invest my money to not make $30,000 into $1 million, but how can I turn $20 million into $100 million? That's how I have to think, and that's just not something that relates to how I was making videos before.
And he really doubles down on this mindset on Twitter. Karush AK tweeted, I spoke with a highly successful trader that's challenged himself to turn 50k into 10 million. He shared his exact strategy and past trading success that make him believe it's possible over 10 years. Alex Becker replied, Jeebus, my one thing is, why don't these guys ever turn $10 million into $500 million? I assume it gets harder the higher the numbers due to liquidity. Like top hedge funds seem to max out at 30% annually, always pondered. So we can start to see where Becker's head is at. He's got a huge injection of cash and he doesn't care about 30k to $1 million anymore. That's child's play to him. He's looking at turning $10 to $20 million into $500 million to $1 billion, a different ballgame. And in order to do that in a bear market, which is what we're currently in, he thinks the best way to do that is to build. What exactly is Becker building? Well, for your information, I'm not announcing my AI company or that I own it till it's worth at least 200 million. And although I have a very strong suspicion on exactly what Alex Becker is building right now, I'll save that for another video. Because the more important question for me and for you is, how do you build in Web3 and AI? AI. Well, Becker responded to a tweet, "What would you do if you were 20 years old again and had no money?" He said, "I'd focus on learning AI and programming." He also said, "I'd focus on using the AI and programming to make a low-cost cash flow focused business or service." And he continues by saying, "NFT tech alone will change security, buying and selling of real estate, paid advertising, legal transactions, voting, ID, event tickets, video games. This list is absolutely endless of ways to make 8, 9, even 10 figures. And people are sitting around trying to get airdrop." But let's be real here. That is a really long road that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and in most cases, a decent amount of capital, which is where Becker is currently at. But what about his other strategy? What about investing like a degen and turning our 20, 30K into a couple of million? I mean, that's really why we follow Becker, because we want to do that, but we also don't want to spend all day sitting around analyzing charts and trying to find the opportunities ourselves, but just getting him to do the diligence for us and letting us know the token's name so we can ride his coattails to 100x gains. Well, I actually have good news for you, because despite what Becker's said so far, he also says this:
"I am still super duper interested in crypto and investing. I'm going to be making videos on the market. I'm going to be making videos on coins, and I'm also going to be talking about NFTs a whole lot."
In fact, just 1 month ago, Becker gave away his biggest new crypto investing thesis on Twitter. He wrote, "Gaming coins and AI coins are gonna run the hardest here when there is an actual bull run. You will make it in crypto by picking one niche and then being an expert in it. If you trade that one niche and the 10, 20, 50 X's, well, that'll do, pig. You don't need anything else." So clearly, the game plan is to wait until that bull market comes around, continue to be an expert in gaming tokens so he can take his large nest egg and try and get a 20 or 50x return on that. And just as a quick side note, you've probably heard of a lot of influencers like Alex Becker, Crypto God John, Lady of Crypto, turning a few $1,000s into $1 million in the last bull cycle. I've heard about it a million times, and honestly, I'm jealous. But motivated for this next bull cycle to not miss out on these life-changing opportunities again. So we have vouched as the people's champion of the blockchain to empower you with the knowledge and the clarity to invest like a big brain privileged influencer. How? Well, it's actually way less complicated than you think and really quite simple. We track influencers' wallets, portfolios, and social media so that anytime that they make a move, say Alex Becker buys a new low cap crypto token, you will get an alert, and we can be there to shine a spotlight on what this token is and break it down together before he shills it to his millions of followers and before it does the 5, 10, 50, 100x. Now, I originally built these software and tools for myself because I wanted to cut through the insane amount of noise out there of the dozens of different influencers giving you contradicting advice on what you need to buy and what you need to sell and how much you should buy, and half of them just pumping up random scam coins and then new coins coming onto the market every single week. There's a lot to go through. So instead, my solution was literally take the biggest brains, take Crypto God John, take Alex Becker, take Gary V, take Lady of Crypto. These are the people with the proven track record, and just see exactly what their wallet's doing at all times, and that'll give us the signal for the noise. Because not only do we get to find projects early, but we know that they have a lot of influence on a lot of people, and even if the projects aren't that good, a lot of the time they're gonna pump anyway. So if you did want to be a pioneer of the Web3 revolution and get ahead of that mainstream, I'll leave the link to our Patreon, all the tools, the software, the rising coin breakdowns, and the awesome community. The link will be in the description below for you. And if that's not for you, keep enjoying the free video. So when it comes to Alex Becker, yes, he's going to be heavily investing as the market turns bullish, and we'll be tracking his wallets to see exactly when that might start. But overall, it seems actually quite a traditional viewpoint. In a bear market, you build, and in a bull market, you invest like a DJ. Now, where exactly he's going to invest, it's going to be obvious. I think he's going to dabble in AI, just like he talks about in these tweets. He thinks AI tokens are going to skyrocket, but his bread and his butter is in gaming. And it looks like he'll attempt to get a 50 to 100x on maybe a couple $1 million of play money, and that'll take him way closer to his new financial goal of $1 billion. As for us, I suggest we do the same. I'm currently learning Python and how to code apps using AI. If you're intrigued in that, drop me a comment, maybe I'll do a video on it. But we also want to turn the cash flow from our businesses into unimaginable wealth. And for that, we'll continue to track these influencers and we'll continue to find freedom in dirty altcoins.